Hello everyone, and thank you for stopping by my channel, Get Crafty with Sally. My name is Sally Poole. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And today I'm going to show you how to make this card. It is made from the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper pack and the Countryside Blossoms Embossing Folder. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but this one piece of paper in the pack, let me grab the pack. This is the paper that has the cute bunnies on it and the little birds and the foxes. This one piece of paper, the pattern fits the embossing folder, which I can't seem to find. Here it is. So you can actually line this paper up in this embossing folder and it will emboss on this. You probably can't see this on the video, but it's really nice. So let me tell you about a few little items first, and then we'll get started on the card. I wanted to let you know that the new online exclusives were released today, so you'll want to make sure you go check them out. And I know I do see on Facebook, and I get a lot of questions about where do they put the online exclusives online? They're so hard to find them. So hopefully this will help. If you just go to the online site, just click on menu in the upper left hand corner, and then there'll be, I think there's 5 little circle selections, and one says view all. Click on view all, and then you'll get this list that says shop for, and you can click on online exclusives right in this list, and it'll take you to the page where all of the online exclusives are listed. So hopefully that makes it a little easier for you to find that. Also, today, Stampin' Up! Has done a refresh to the clearance rack. So you'll want to run over there and see what's been discounted, what's been added, what great things are on there now. And grab some of those supplies if you need them. A lot of times they do go quick, so take a look at that. The other thing is, today Stampin' Up! Is starting bonus days again. So from now through the end of July, when you shop, for every $50 that you spend, you can earn a $5 coupon. There's no limit to how many coupons you can earn. So once you've made a purchase, checked out, done all that, you'll get an email from Stampin' Up! With the coupon codes in it. I find for some reason that those are easy to lose, so you might want to print it out. What I do is write my coupon codes on a sticky note and put it by my computer monitor. You can redeem them in August, so shop as many times as you want, collect as many coupon codes as you can. Make sure you keep track of them, because I don't think Stampin' Up's going to hunt for them once they've been issued. So you want to make sure to keep those so that you have them when it's time to redeem them. So let's see, I think that's it for that. So let me show you what we're going to need to make this card. I'm not going to go through each item one by one. I've got the papers that you're going to need here with sticky notes with the sizes, most of the colors. I've mainly used boho blue, basic white for the sentiment, balmy blue for this little sprig guy, and this piece and the dark blue Night of Navy piece are both from the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper pack. So you can get a screenshot of this if you want, or as always, I have a PDF of the measurements and the supplies listed in the description below this video. So you can get a screenshot if you want, or you can just go print the PDF out if you want. So let's get started. And I think first we will do a little bit of stamping. I'm going to grab my chair. Hopefully I won't bump into my light ring. And let me grab a scrap of paper. So I'm stamping today with Misty Moonlight ink. And for the sentiment, I am using a set called Layering Leaves. If you haven't seen this in the catalog, go take a look at it. It really is a great stamp set, and I think it's one of those that might get overlooked. It's got some awesome sentiments in beautiful fonts, and it also coordinates with the bow punch. So that's what we're going to cut our little sprigs with. And then I'm also using, for this little flower here, we're going to stamp that, and it's from the two-tone flora set. Probably a lot of you already have that. That is a 2-step stamp set, and we're going to use the smallest flower in it. It's a great set. A lot of fun. So let's stamp our sentiment on the scrap of basic white, and I'm using the thank you so much stamp. So we're just going to give that a press. So we've got that one, and then on our scrap of, this is balmy blue, not boho blue. Everything else is boho blue. This is balmy blue. We are going to stamp this little sprig, and it's this one in the set. The other one looks kind of like roses. This looks like little, I don't know, little stringy finger things. So let's stamp that. Give it a good press. And then for this boho blue piece, we're going to stamp the flower. I guess I need both pieces. I only had one out. Grab this block and we'll pick up our stamp. So I'm going to first stamp the inside piece, and this is the smallest flower stamp in the set. So let's ink up our stamp. Got some fuzzy in there. And I'm going to try to save room over here where I can punch out one of my sprigs. Okay, and this is actually pretty easy to line up because there's a little, kind of like a little V in the middle of both of these. So that's what I'm lining it up by. And so the solid fill stamp, grab a different piece of scratch paper. We are going to want to stamp it off so the ink isn't so dark. Line this up, the little center, and then give that a good press. So there's our little flower. So I think that is everything that we need to stamp. So let me get my stamps out of the way. And my ink. And let's, for those of you that aren't familiar with die cutting, let's cut this little flower out. We'll line our die up. Put a little bit of tape on it. Get our mini Stampin' Up Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Put our plate 1 down, paper in our die. Whoops. Plate 1, plate 2, paper in our die, and another plate 2. We'll run that through. And then there's the little flower that we end up with. So I've already cut my sentiment out, so we won't do that. We do need to, let's see, we're going to take our boho blue and punch. Let me take this die off of here. We're going to punch this larger sprig in boho blue. And then we're also going to punch one out of vellum, the same sprig, the larger one. And then, let's see, we need, I think we've got everything. We've got our sentiment, we've got boho blue and vellum, we've got our little sprig, and we've got a flower. So let's take our let's take this designer series paper that's 4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, and I'm going to cut the center of it out with my rectangle stitched dies. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just wanted to save some of the designer series paper. So, like I said, you can just leave it in here if you want. So let me run over to my bigger machine here and I'll cut this really quick. Okay, so we're going to use this frame. You can keep this and use it for something else. The die that I used is the third from the largest to cut the inside of that out. I used the smaller rectangle in this section to cut the sentiment out with. Can't get a hold of it. So that fits in there perfectly. And then next I'm going to use, set that aside, for the piece that we're going to emboss. And I'm going to grab a couple pieces of tape. You want to line this up. Let me show you. And I'm cutting it with the largest frame from this section of the stitched rectangles. So this pretty much is what fits in the embossing folder, so that's what I'm going to try to cut. And it might take a little bit of trial and error, but I found that you barely get one of these little blue flowers in at the top, and you can get these blue dots on each side tend to come out, even though they're hard to see under this die. So let's get our little blue flower in there. Let's see if we can see our blue dots on the sides. And then we want to try to line this up so it's straight. Put a little tape on there. And then I'm going to run it through my machine real quick. Sorry, I keep running back and forth. I've got my mini machine there, and I've got the bigger one over farther, and I don't want to drag it over here. Okay. So there's that piece. Next, I'm going to take this folder, and you're going to turn your piece upside down and then line it up as best you can with all of the designs on the pattern of the paper. And I think it's easiest to try to line it up with this big flower and these dots around it first. You might have to keep scooting things around a little bit, but it gets pretty close. I haven't got any that are perfect yet, but like I said, they get pretty close. So let me run this through really quick. Okay, so now we've got this really nice, again, you probably can't see it, embossed raised edges on here. So let's take our embossed panel and we'll glue it to the blue piece. And I'm just going to go around the edge of this piece because obviously when I put it on the Night of Navy frame, there is nothing in the center to adhere it to. So we'll put that down on there. Line it up as best as we can, give it a good press. You could also, if you wanted to, got glue on my fingers, you could attach this to the blue frame first and then emboss it. It would show a little bit of the embossing on the dark blue. Although it is kind of hard to see, so I don't know that it really matters. Okay, so let's take our card base, which is boho blue, 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5.5 inches. I've already scored it. We're going to fold it, line it up. I'm going to grab my bone folder. Give it a good press. And then let's take our embossed piece and we'll attach it to the card base. I've got something sticky on my yellow sheet. This time I will put a little bit of glue in the center. So make sure we're right side up. Lay that down and give it a good press. And then let's take our sentiment and our 1 1/8 inch by 2.5 inch piece of boho blue, and we'll glue that down. And then I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals. And I kind of want to, I'm going to put some over here too, but that's where I'm going to be putting all of my sprigs. So I want to make sure when I put this on the card that I don't press down on that left side quite yet until I get things where I want them. Okay, so let's take the covers off. Put our sentiment down here in the bottom right corner. And I'm just going to give it a press on the right side. And now I'm going to take my boho blue sprig and my vellum sprig, and I'm going to cut a tiny little bit off the bottom of each of them. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of the boho blue. And I'm going to lay the vellum down on there, but I'm not laying it down right over the top. I'm kind of offsetting them. I've lifted the vellum up higher and turned it to the left a little bit. So let's put a little glue on the back of our sprig. And we'll lift up this left side and slide our sprig under there. And I'm going to take my bone folder and press it down a little bit. I'm still not pressing down on my dimensionals. So now let's take our the smaller sprig, put a little bit of glue on it. And we will slide it in here. Grab our bone folder and give it a little press as well. Sorry that I'm shaking everything. Now we can press down our dimensionals. And now for the little flower that we're going to put here, I'm going to partially put it up on this popped up sentiment. So I'm going to put a mini dimensional on this left hand side and a little bit of glue in the corner of the sentiment. So let's lay this on here where we think it looks good. So we've got a dimensional there and some glue there. And then I'm just going to take some rhinestone basic jewels and embellish this card front a little bit. I'm going to put a medium in the center of the flower. I'm going to put a small one in the center of this flower, another small one in the center of this flower, another small one in the center of this flower. I usually only put 3, but I'm putting 5 on today. And then how about we put one on the sentiment. Okay, we're done. That was pretty quick and easy. So I hope you'll give this a try. This really is pretty in person with the embossing on this designer series paper. So don't forget all the wonderful things that have started today, the online exclusives, the clearance rack, and the bonus days. So If you are enjoying my videos, please hit the like button, give me the thumbs up, share my video with your friends and family, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye now.